welcome to Vamos. And on this week's edition, we're going to discuss the Madrid derby in the UEFA Champions League final. Liverpool on their big win in the Europa League. We're going to discuss Leicester, the new champions of England. And we look forward to next season with the big boys, Chelsea, United, Arsenal, what the future holds for them. And to join me, I'm here with Olumide Ajayi and Abolade Olusanya. And Bob, talking about the UEFA Champions League last season, it was such a... one game was so good, the other game was really poor. And let's talk about a good game. That was Atleti versus Bayern. How did Bayern lose this game? Because in the second leg, they were absolutely fantastic.
I think in the final third, they were kind of wasteful. Because it's the kind of thing where everyone knew how Atletico Madrid were going to set up for the game. They're going to be very defensive. At most times, they're going to have at least 8 players behind the ball. So Bayern had to score earlier, I think, than they actually did. And they had to have scored at least 2 before Atletico then got their goal. Because the second half came, you could tell that Atletico Madrid were actually trying to score a lot more. And then they took that chance that they did, perfectly. And I just felt like tactically, both teams were pretty perfect, but Bayern were probably just let down in the final third a bit, lacked a bit of quality.
Yeah, and talking about finishing your chances, Thomas Müller missed a penalty, a big one. How decisive was that in changing the game and changing Atletico's approach to the game? Because that would have, the penalty came in, Jimenez got a yellow card, and at that point he felt like they could collapse and it could be 3-4-0. But after they seemed to change. So how decisive was this penalty? And should we read too much into it?
I think it definitely was. If Bayern had scored then as well, I think they would have gone through to the final. But that penalty save, it was a poor penalty from Müller to start with.
Yeah.
It was it's one of those penalties that you give it, it's that perfect height for a keeper to save. It's not low, it's not, going straight into the roof of the net. So it's just perfect height for the keeper to dive and save. And then that, when you miss a penalty, it brings, the team that missed the penalty kind of down in terms of morale. And then it gives the other team a bit of a boost. So I think it definitely did have a lot of impact on the game.
Yeah, and Olumide, at the beginning of the season, we discussed Atletico, and you said they didn't have the quality to finish, or they weren't good enough in terms of their goal scoring to finish high as high as they did in the league. And what changed between then and now? Why are they in the Champions League final, and why were they 3 points away from winning La Liga?
Guzman, and I think the defense being as intense as they were last season, because I thought they couldn't keep it up, the whole defensive pressure. Although when you think a team is one way, where you think, maybe next season the players will get older or they'll just drop off or something, like the way Company suddenly had so many injuries this season. I think Guzman has been a revelation this season, and Simone said that he should be in talks for Ballon d'Or, and I think that's a bit too far. But then, really, for them, he has been, their Ballon d'Or winner. He's been so clutch, so lethal, and looking forward, to the Euros this summer. I'm sure France must be loving their chances right now because, Jean Martial, Griezmann, I will not say that wasteland of France for Arsenal. And between those two, they have a really lethal front line, very unpredictable and dynamic, not static as the model we have up front for Arsenal. But he's been good, and kudos to them. I mean, Simeone has kept clean sheets in over half of his games.
Yeah,
as a manager of Atletico Madrid, he has managed them. He has managed to, the team has managed to keep a clean sheet in over half. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think they have as many clean sheets as goals conceded. But and to touch on that, Black, when Courtois went to we all thought that Atletico could have finished because a good part of their season was a good part of the season when they won the league was Courtois keeping them in the game. So, how has Yano Black impressed you, Bob? And as someone who watched him in Benfica in the Europa League, like, did you see him putting up these kind of performances in the Champions League?
I didn't really see it coming, but I feel like obviously he's definitely taken the step up since Courtois left, and he's definitely cemented his place as the number one keeper, and he's doing so well now that I think he might actually attract other clubs if he keeps going like this as well. So, and Atletico Madrid have, as anyone can see, have always been a selling club. So I'm sure there's a price tag, and if it's triggered, then he can go.
Yeah, but apparently his buyout is like I think 65 million euros. And,
okay.
Yeah, and it made about 72 million euros at the moment, so I think he's gonna stay. But
good.
Yeah, but let's talk about Saul and Torres. Saul has been really impressive. His goal against Bayern was world class. If Messi or someone else did it, we'll be talking about it for ages. And he was linked with United in the winter. He turned that down. Do you see him as someone who can do a job at this United team and reorganize the midfield?
I don't know. I think it's a gamble. Well, I mean, based on what you've seen of him, what would you say he would necessarily bring to the team?
I feel it will bring a lot of because I feel he's an all-round player. Like can be box to box. He was a good defender. When he was at Rayo Vallecano, he played the entire season as centre back, which has improved him defensively. Coming up into this season, you see him doing things like dribbling. He has high work ethic. His crossing is good. His finishing is good, as it's shown over the past 2 seasons. Even the bicycle kick against Madrid, and that's like he brings quality all around the midfield area to any team is in, and that's why he's such an important player for Atletico. Is like Koke, but I think he's going to be better than Koke, definitely.
I would rather have Manchester United invest in a more established player.
Yeah, I feel like it's time now to stop gambling and just sign the players that we need, because with the way this league is going, if you're not improving drastically, you're going to get left behind soon. Because obviously everyone's saying Leicester won't necessarily be up there next season. Sure, maybe they won't, but even if they aren't, they're still Tottenham will still be around. Chelsea will definitely be around. Man City will be around. Liverpool will be probably a lot more improved after the summer transfers. Arsenal,
let's switch the focus back to Fernando Torres. He's been good ever since he scored his 100th goal at Atletico. What has been the transformation between him at Atletico and him at Chelsea at the moment?
It's confidence. I think confidence is everything, and being actually comfortable in your surroundings. I think that can make the difference between a player like him anyway, because he's always had the quality as we've seen, in the past. But I think it's probably definitely been how comfortable he is, and going back home, all that kind of stuff plays a heavy part in his game. So I do. Yeah, at any other club, I don't think he'd be playing the way he is now.
Yeah, and let's talk about one of his previous clubs, which is Chelsea. And I certainly think that Atletico Madrid played like the Chelsea team in 2012. But do you guys agree with that?
I think the Atletico Madrid team right now, there's a lot more. I think there's a lot. It's defensive football, but there's a lot more tactical prowess to it. It's because, to me, I think there's a difference between playing defensive football and playing and parking the bus, as people say. Because when Atletico Madrid get the ball, they're not negative at all with it. But if you watch a Mourinho team, a lot of the time when they get the ball at those moments, they're not trying to, players aren't trying to break forward and all this kind of stuff. Most of the time, they're just trying to keep the ball rather than actually play football. But what I think the difference between Simeone's team now is that yeah, when the other team have the ball, they're compact and they keep their shape. They're keeping them maybe 9 players behind the ball. But at the same time, the second they win the ball, they're not defensive at all. The midfielders will be forward, the strikers will obviously be forward. So I feel like it's a much more. I can appreciate the system a lot more.
Okay, and Olumide?
Well, I guess in some ways, I see the Chelsea, in the 2012 were a bit more negative in a sense. I think they're not afraid to go forward. Like Atletico Madrid, they do trust their organization and their set of their stability at the back. So that has always been, I think, their foundation going forward. Yeah. And I think in terms of attacking options, apart from Griezmann, Saul has you've hinted at has done really well. I mean, Koke as well. He's a tremendous corner kick taker and free kick taker as well for them. He has given them a number of assists of set plays and stuff. I can see which team would I rather have? I would say the Atletico Madrid now, because I think they were better defensively than the Chelsea in 2012. Chelsea were very defensive then. Yeah. But then I'd just rather have the Atletico now. And yeah, that's what I would say.
And let's speak about the opponents, Bayern, who won the league this weekend. We're signaling the end of Pep Guardiola's legacy. So what does Pep Guardiola leave at Bayern? Because he came into Bayern, he was asked to win everything possible, but he consistently failed at the Champions League stage. Is that something that should mar his legacy at Bayern or his legacy as a top coach?
For me, to mar it, in a sense, I would say yes, because he came from a team. He came to pick up a team that just won the treble. So in a sense, he has dropped off. Not being able to reach the finals. I think he reached the final last year, but not being able to win it in 2 years or 3 years he's been in charge. So I think in a sense he hasn't really marred it. It's just in terms of expectations, you thought, hey, maybe they would after winning the treble, they would win it more convincingly or something like that. Because they signed Lewandowski, they made the signing Vidal and such. They made more signings and more big names, brought more big names to the club. So I thought they will really push on. But then in that aspect, just Champions League, he has come short in my view.
And Bob?
The question I had, obviously, by the time I knew that they weren't going to the Champions League final, is he's improved them as a team, yes, since he took over. But are they... The thing I've always thought about this Guardiola's Bayern is that are they ruthless as a team? Because when I remember the Bayern bit before he took over, they didn't have anywhere near the same quality of players. I mean, they had good players, don't get me wrong, but, were they as good? Tactics and that kind of stuff weren't as good, but they were more direct and they were more ruthless in attack. And I feel like those things count for much more, especially in these times of the season, where you can't afford to be missing the kind of chances they were. And I think of players like Mario Gomez. I think, is Lewandowski a better all-round player? Absolutely. But can he finish like Mario Gomez does? Probably not. Is he, Robin is out injured all the time. Ribery is, just getting back to fitness. Those kind of three players, or even Mandzukic, those kind of players that they had before, they weren't necessarily as technically gifted as some of the players they have now, like Douglas Costa. But when it came to attacking football and, direct football, they were much more efficient with it. Guardiola just likes to pass. Yes, but I feel like in the previous Bayern, they were a lot better at just putting the ball in the net, which I think counts for a lot now.
Yeah, because like in all the games, like in all the semifinals, they lack that like intensity, they lack that fighting spirit against, whether it's against Madrid, against Barca, and you see that now against Atletico. Even when like they did play very like attacking in like the second half of the second leg, but like you question where was that like in the first leg and the first half of the first leg, second half of the first leg. And some of the things Pep has done, like his tactical manipulations, like he tried to be too clever in the first leg when he left on Müller. Maybe that could taunt him when Müller took the penalty. Maybe he lost confidence, but those kind of mistakes have really affected Pep. Like even in the Barcelona game where we discussed last season, where he tried to play 3 at the back against MSN, and he looked like a child. So.
Yeah, I think maybe at times he can be guilty of being quite, like his narcissism maybe can be put to question, especially when it comes to tactics. It seems very self-absorbed in the sense that, no matter what is going on externally, like internally, he'll never kind of change his ways, which can be a good thing at times, but also, does he have the ability to be tactically diverse when he needs to be?
He can be. Someone who can be is Arsene Wenger. He can break down the defense. I think that Giroud is the most, can offer you a lot more just because he can head the ball. Yeah.
Don't worry. He's going to come out this week and talk about how Giroud's resurgence is like a new signing.
Yeah, and let's not kill ourselves by staying too long in this game. And let's move on to the next game, which is awful. It's one of the worst semifinals I've seen in a long time. And why was it so bad, Paul?
Because both teams aren't that good. Like, they're really not. I think it's just literally down to it. I'm not... Real Madrid did have probably the easiest run to get to a Champions League final that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and there was the stat about like comparing Real Madrid to Villarreal, where Villarreal played, I think they played Napoli and Bayern, but Real Madrid played Roma and Wolfsburg, and Wolfsburg are
exactly
shit in the Bundesliga. Excuse my
language. Yeah, so it's kind of like they haven't exactly had to go out of third gear pretty much for most of the Champions League this season, and that might work against them because I honestly believe that Atletico Madrid should look like, I'd have Atletico Madrid as the favourites more than Real Madrid right now, and because
in the final,
yeah, because I'm just watching the way both teams are playing, and I'm telling you, if it was any other decent team that played Real Madrid in the semi-final, they probably would have knocked them out. Because Man City defensively have always been poor. And also, obviously, they have a few stars up front with like Aguero, De Bruyne, and such. But Man City are very, they're not that great of a team either. And they still put up, Real Madrid didn't even necessarily batter them in any shape or form. So I feel like if another team had played them, if Bayern had played Real Madrid in the semi-final, they would have definitely knocked them out.
And the Man City's performance against, like as you described, quite average Real Madrid, show why Pellegrini is getting the sack.
Yeah, I feel like I was shocked. Like they were playing as if it was a friendly, and I'm like, this is the last couple of minutes before a Champions League final. Like that's the next stage. And I'm thinking players like Aguero, De Bruyne. Like, isn't that what you came here for? Like, if it's Aguero said, a few years ago that he wants to win a Champions League with Man City. So I was just baffled at how lethargic, how just average, it was the last couple of minutes, you're losing, there's 10 minutes left, you're losing. And the ball's gone up, to Real Madrid's half, and most of the City players are still in their own half. And I'm just thinking, what's this like? What's the mentality here? Like, it's just it was baffling. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, they showed far too much respect to Real Madrid and Pellegrini. I questioned his selection of Yaya Toure instead of Kelechi Iheanacho because like Iheanacho played extremely well against Southampton in the weekend leading up to the second leg, and I expected Iheanacho to pair up with Aguero, but like lo and behold, Yaya Toure started and Yaya Toure wasn't even on the pitch.
Yeah, because what always baffles me as well is when certain teams, if you don't have a strong core in terms of defense, your tactics should never be negative because that's not your strength. You're not the type of teams that can frustrate teams and then go and beat them on the counter. Like, that's never been Man City's game. They just go from minute 1 to minute 90 and they attack and try and score. That's been their game. Yeah. So when they were trying to play this kind of compact football, like it's kind of okay, we'll break and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, this isn't how Man City usually play. And I felt like if they had been more positive and started even with the 4-4-2, because obviously they didn't want to lose the battle in midfield, but it's a 4-4-2 when they have the ball, but when they don't have the ball, it's a 4-5-1. Because I think Kelechi or Aguero, they drop back a little bit. So I was a bit surprised that they didn't just try and go for it. Because they're not the type of team that can play that frustrating defensive football.
Yeah. And that's something I found puzzling because, like, in the first half, Aguero was pretty isolated in the box. And then when Kelechi came in, I thought, like, it's going to be 2 up front. But, like, both of them, one would drop back, so it made, like, 4-5-1. And I'm like, why did you bring Kelechi on if he's going to play an attacking midfield role rather than a second striker? But
weird.
And did their injuries cost them? Because Company was injured in the first 20 minutes?
Not necessarily. I don't think Company staying would have made much of a difference because he can only do so much at the back. They're also negative tactically that, they weren't exactly looking like they were going to score at any point of the game anyway.
Yeah. And yes. When they go on?
Yeah, I agree. Just like, the whole, what's it called now? Mangala as a centre back is appalling. Like, he's laughable. He should be in West Brom or something. Yep. I mean, he has all the
he's an expensive Jimmy Traore.
Maybe that's good.
Yo, Jimmy throwback as a throwback. What's it called? He is just, there are so many times, and Otamendi is so rash. I don't know how, maybe that's how he's always been, like in Valencia and stuff. But then there are so many times I'm thinking, why are you diving in then? Like, if this guy beats you, like that's the end. There's nothing you can do about it. And he just throws himself with, like, granted he did come up for him a couple of times, but then it wasn't every time. So from the back, and I think not having Zabaleta as well, that affected the right wing. And I mean, Jesus Navas as a right wing should be like stick Bob on the right, and he will produce a lot more than that. Like Bob, who's like on position of fat and like unfit, he will do a lot more than Jesus Navas. I mean, all that speed, he's Walcott, but just with blue eyes. That's all. He's Walcott with blue eyes. That's it.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling Guardiola might like him because he's that type of winger that I think Guardiola likes, in the sense that, especially from wing play, Guardiola just, I guess it depends what kind of tactics he's going to play. I don't know if do you think he's going to play 4-3-3?
Yeah.
Because I know if he plays 4-3-3, Navas is not going to be one of those three.
Yeah, and I guess what Guardiola might like about Navas is his work rates. His work rate is, although the final product isn't there, but his work rate is really important.
And he can improve that.
It's terrible. His final. I'll say the only person that comes close to him is Teo. How he used to be in Barcelona. But then Teo, was a lot more direct. Navas, he's like Valencia in the sense that he only has one foot.
Yeah, it's just a cross. Yeah. Have you seen how bad he is in front of goal? Like, this is what I don't understand about professional footballers. They train every day. So surely Navas gets in front of the goal sometimes doing training. The guy during match day gets in front of the goal, and the guy looks nervous. Like he looks like he hasn't practiced this. Like he's not ready for this. Yeah. And it's just it baffles me. Like,
maybe it goes back to his days at Sevilla, where like it was just really a cross merchant for like Canute, Fabiano, and Negredo, because like, that was like Sevilla's game. Just get the ball out to the wing, cross it to Negredo, Canute, or Fabiano, and goal. But let's talk about Zidane. He's ever since he came in, Real Madrid have been the best team in Spain in terms of points accumulated. How do you rate him so far?
I think play. I look at the transition of play, and I don't think they're anywhere near the best team in the Liga. So I feel like there's a bit of they've scored a lot of late goals lately, so they've gotten away with stuff. So I don't really look at that as much because bar the last 10-15 minutes of games, they've been pretty average and pretty on par with the opposite team.
Yeah, and even like teams at the level of Rayo Vallecano, where like they were losing 2-0, and they through a really appalling defensive error, they got the late goal. I was so angry that day. Yeah, Olumide, you were about to say something.
Yeah, Tim, do you think Barcelona have won the league? Like, it's done and dusted?
I honestly don't think so. Because I feel that Granada will be difficult. I feel obviously they just like got promoted, and maybe if they play well for like 45 minutes, they keep the score at 0-0. No one gets sent off. I feel they can beat us, and I feel we just have to like go there and we have to score early, and we have to and once we score early, I feel if we score within the first 20 minutes, I feel the game can be 4-0 to us. But like if the game is still tight and still like 0-0 by like 45 minutes, I will start to panic, because the thing about Deportivo is that in 1994, in the final game of La Liga, it was competed between Barca and Depor. And Depor were playing Valencia, but Barcelona paid Valencia to draw with Depor. And so they might want revenge for that. But also going into last season where we're beating them 2-0, and they scored 2-2, and the players begged us to stop, and that made them stay in the Primera. So like they kind of have like mixed allegiances, and you can't really count on them to be Real Madrid, like based on the form there. And the former and the coach is the current coach is a Real Madrid past player, so like it's very difficult.
I just I like if the sort of thing where I don't know if it was in the Premier League at some point there will be a split screen of what's happening in one match and what's happening in the next match. Like the one time that happened, or the last time that happened that I remember was really entertaining was when Bale was in Tottenham, and I remember the Arsenal, they were playing for fourth, and then what's it called? Arsenal hadn't scored yet, but then Bale just picked up the ball from like halfway line, just knocked the ball forward, and then laced it into the top corner. And I mean, that's sort of fun. I appreciate that goal, like, because Bale, even though he was in Tottenham, you just had to like the way he was playing. Like, it really was, like player of the year performance. In terms of La Liga, I would like it to go down to the wire. Like, I don't want sort of thing where in the first 10 minutes Barcelona are already 2-0 up. No, that's terrible. That would be just terrible for me. Like, I might as well just switch off the TV at that point.
Yeah. But the thing about Deportivo is like in the last one we played them, they won 8-0. But when they played Villarreal, they won 2-0 at Villarreal, which is extremely difficult. Like I think only Depor, Las Palmas, and Celta Vigo have done that all season. And they've played Liverpool, Napoli there, Bayern Leverkusen, us, Madrid, and Atletico there, and none of them have won. But like the fact that they won there, but like it was a Villarreal team that had pretty much given up on the season. But like it shows that like they're gaining form. So I wouldn't totally count them. It depends on which ones show up. If those teams decide that this is our last game at home and we want to really show our fans how good we are, then like.
But then, to me, it's kind of like, what do they have to play for? Like, it's the kind of thing where, you know, it's hard, especially on the last day of the season, you know, to feel that kind of motivation to go and win the game against Real Madrid, who need to win. Like, I find it hard to see them actually winning the game unless Real Madrid, you know, do something really stupid. Yeah, because they have nothing to play for.
Yeah, true. But you can make some arguments with like West Brom against Spurs or Levante yesterday against Atletico Madrid, where Levante had nothing to play for. West Brom had nothing to play for, but they still.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but we're talking about Villarreal. They lost to Liverpool 3-0. How impressive were Liverpool in that game? And what does this tell you about Klopp?
Liverpool were good, but it's the kind of thing like I would expect them to beat Villarreal. Once I saw how Villarreal were in the first leg and they only won 1-0, I didn't expect Villarreal to do much in the second leg either anyway, because I just didn't think they had the like, it's the kind of thing where sometimes you have to, even though you're an underdog, you have to, you know, play like you're gonna win the game, like with some sort of that sense of confidence. But I didn't see that from Villarreal at all. You know, the creative players like, you know, Denis Suarez didn't really get on the ball much, didn't really have much to do. So I couldn't really think of anything other than a Liverpool win.
Yeah, and do you think if Liverpool win the Champions League, is this like already a justification of like Klopp's appointment, and is this a sign of things to come in the Premier League?
Yeah, absolutely. Because without him, I don't think they would have gotten to the Europa League final. But you know, they're against. Look, when it comes to the Europa League, Sevilla, they have a set formula that cannot fail. I don't know what they do behind backroom staff or anything, but they have a formula at that football club, and I don't think Liverpool, you know, have anything to do with it. So I still think Sevilla are going to win just because they always do.
Yeah, and I'm sure once they win, they'll be already thinking of ways to get back to the Europa League and win it again.
No. Yeah, they'll circle that number 3 for the Champions League group stage. They'll say this is our target, boys.
Yeah. Well, speaking about English miracles, Leicester City won the Premier League. Incredible! It was mind blowing stuff seeing them win. It's like I almost cheered up when Wes Morgan and Ranieri carried the trophy, because like I just couldn't believe it. Some things like you think that seeing is believing, but like sometimes even when you see it, you have to pinch yourself 1,000 times to actually believe that they won it. And how did they win it? Like in terms of like the play, because like you can talk about the fact that like teams were bad in Premier League, but like they still at moments still had 80 points, which is an average of more than 2 points a game.
They were solid at the back. They were very surprisingly solid. Like in the first half of the season, I think they were a bit of a, you know, you score me, we score you sort of thing, and Vardy was like on one. So, you know, it was like almost every game when he went on that consecutive game scoring streak, you know, they felt like they could outscore anyone. So that's how they were. Like in the first half, I think Ranieri must have sat, you know, the back foot down and said, you know, like we need to do more, play more like champions, not just, you know, get the ball up and try to attack every single time. You know, be more like, I don't know, strategic when they're taking our chances to go forward and everything like that. So, you know, that's hence the increase in number of 1-0 scores they had. Granted, some of those games shouldn't have ended 1-0. Like I remember against Stoke, and there were some fouls, I think, and 2 calls or penalties that weren't called at all and stuff like that. But then, you know, sometimes it falls in your favour. And I mean, from the back, and those 2 players in midfield, Kante and Drinkwater, are so tremendously underrated. And, you know, shout out to Marco Brighton as well on the left side. Like their midfield, just like from their spine, everyone just turned up. That's what they did compared to the other teams. Everyone just turned up.
Yeah. And Bob, there was the game against Arsenal and Emirates when they lost 2-1. Like, we all thought that this was it. So, what really changed from that pivotal loss to them winning the title?
Because Leicester City are the type of team that they have the mentality in the squad where they can go and lose 2-1 and just carry on the season like they didn't lose 2-1. But Arsenal are the type of team that could go and win 2-1 and then carry on the season like they didn't win that game 2-1.
Okay, wait. I can understand the Arsenal. The song was done it for time. But I won't say that about Leicester, though. Like, it's just this season that we really have to judge them on, wow, you can do this. So now we know what they're capable of. It's kind of like when Atletico Madrid won the league. And then it's like, wow, so this is what you guys are capable of. So the league then adjusted to their gameplay and stuff. But then
Atletico Spanish Leicester eliminated. That's so disrespectful. It's them.
No. I'm not trying to say that. The Leicester, the whole, what they're capable of is. Yeah. It's not really a valid argument, so to speak. Yeah. I'm just saying, just to be critical, because I'm hating on bastards right
now. and do you feel like they can keep those core players, Mahrez, Albrighton, Conte, Vardy, Joa, and Okazaki next season?
At least two of them are leaving. At least two of them.
Look, yes, fairy tale time at Leicester City Football Club. But if you're on 40 grand a week and your agent texts you saying another Premier League club wants to triple your wage, you look at your wife, she looks at you, your wife tells you not to be foolish. So you sign them up and you're gone. There's not much you can do, but then at the same time, because of all the money Leicester are gonna make, then they can afford to. If I was them, I'd just sign new contracts. Mahrez, or you want 100 grand a week, sign him, give it to him, because they're at that status now.
Yeah, and
where they can afford to pay those wages.
Yeah, next year in the Premier League, I think the bottom team will get £100 million, and so I feel definitely they can keep those players, hopefully.
Yeah.
And how do you see them doing in the Champions League? I think they might get to the last 16, maybe, and maybe in the last 8 if possible.
Yeah, so do I, because I think it's just the way they play football. As you can see, like every week I'd watch them and I'd see why they're at the top. Whether I liked it or not, I could understand why they're at that. To me, it was no fluke. There was nothing about luck, because luck can't win you a league title, because a league title is about a marathon. So it's like you don't win those kind of things by luck. So yeah, I think obviously because they're first seed, I don't see why the teams they're playing, and obviously because of the summer transfer window, they're going to bring a lot of better players in also to add to their squad. So I don't see why they can't get out of the group stage.
Yeah. I think they will definitely need to make new signings as well, because
Yeah, because of the energy one. They don't have the players to play twice a week.
I mean, Drake Watson and Kante can be running. I mean, they will try. I don't think they can run. I don't know how Drake will work.
Have you ever watched Kante and thought he looked tired?
No.
Oh,
even at 80th minute, he will still be in your face.
Yeah.
80th minute is when the guy starts shooting. This guy was freaked out.
Yeah. And do they remind you of any team in the past in English football?
Nope. There's been nothing like this ever in football. I don't know anywhere else. Obviously, in the main leagues, but I can't think of any other football story like this one, where in the last 18 months, I can't remember how many. I think in the last, not even 18 months. I think in the last 15 months of football, the amount of points they've accumulated is something stupid.
And
I think it was past. I think it was 114 points or something.
Yeah, it's over 100.
Yeah. Wow.
I was thinking,
wow,
there's no way. That's
so
literally
impressive.
like a team like, to me, it's literally a team like, let me think of Spanish equivalent. Levante. It's like Levante escaping relegation this season by just a couple of games, and then going and winning the whole league next season, beating Real Madrid, Barcelona. It's literally
impossible.
It's impossible.
They beat Man City home and away.
Yeah.
So many of the big four teams they beat home and away.
Yeah. And I think the Man City performance that they actually had was like to be honest, that's when I really started to believe that they could win it. They could actually win it because like when I watched that game, I was like, oh, Man City's going to beat them and this is going to be the end of fairy tale. But like they came out, I think they were winning 3-0, and you're just like, wow, this is an amazing team. And
it was written in the stars, man.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it was the monk that came to their dressing rooms earlier. Just put the mojo there for that. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is a good story to like even to the other Premier League clubs that you don't necessarily have to spend the big money to really do well in this league. You just need like good coaching. You just need like work ethic, and what Leicester, what Atletico Madrid are doing, what Dortmund did in Germany. It's like, but Leicester is obviously much more impressive than the other two. But like what they're doing is like they're changing the narrative of football from like this like big money spending teams to saying that no, you don't necessarily have to spend big. Like even like a Stoke, like it's possible for a team like Stoke or a team like Everton to dream without the big budgets. And I feel that's very good for football, and I feel that's a good image on the Premier League that teams that can dream.
And the worst part is that it's just showing up guys like Arsene Wenger. I mean, what have you been doing all your life?
Yeah.
Do you not see what is going on? I mean, do you not have a brain?
Yeah.
You have been coaching. You have won this. I mean, how do you go from coaching a team for a whole season that goes unbeaten to doing this? It's just unbelievable. I don't understand.
Yeah. And I'm sure like Olam may be more depressed when Spurs finish above Arsenal because like if Leicester were the best team in England,
it's not a done deal. Spurs can still falter. Like I mean, they have.
The thing about it is that Sunderland play Everton on Wednesday. If Sunderland beat Everton, Newcastle are relegated. So by come the last day, Newcastle have nothing to lose. But I still see them beating this Tottenham team. And if after all this nonsense, Arsenal still finish above Tottenham, the meltdown on Twitter. Oh my god.
That's true. That's what being with.
Yeah, but it'll be so unfair on Spurs if, like, after all this, because, like, barring Leicester, Spurs have actually been the best team in England. And they've played the best football. They've had a young, exciting team. Guys like Dele Alli have come in. Kane has obviously shown that he's not a one-season wonder. And you can tell that this is a team that, once you add to it, and with Pochettino staying, with guys like Ali and Kane staying, this is a team that could win the Premier League next season.
I think people should relax on all that. Yes, they played good football. Yes, they had the best goal difference. Blah blah blah. But I saw some stupid stat that they're the team that dropped the most points from winning positions this season. I think they've dropped 21 points from winning positions this season. That means that if they're already second and they've dropped all those points, that means that at the same time, yes, they play great football, all that kind of stuff, but they still have a lot of issues and a lot of things can be exploited. Then it's the kind of thing where it's the people forget how big, an impetus it is for certain teams to play a certain way because everyone else is playing so bad, and because Leicester were the only team that were catching. Next season, if they don't start off, with, let's say in the first 5 games, if they don't win at least 3 or 4 of those games, it gets, that mentality drops straight away, and they start thinking, okay, yeah, let's just pick up some wins and then we'll get, let's aim for a Champions League place. Because if it wasn't for all these other teams playing so badly, a team like Spurs, I feel like, got most of their confidence from the fact that, they only had one other team to chase this season. I mean, for most of the season, for the last maybe 4 or 5 months, it's been just, okay, at least for the last 3 months, I think it's been mostly between Spurs and Leicester. So I feel like that makes a big difference rather than if it was like a couple of seasons ago where, Spurs, they're fourth with 3 months to go. They're not going to go and come second. Like, that's not... I don't think they have that mentality in their team. I feel like it's because they're already doing so well at a good stage of the season that it's easier to carry it on than if next season, if all these other big teams, City, Chelsea, do pack up their ideas, I can't see Tottenham doing better than those teams.
Yeah.
Like, I highly doubt it.
And
I agree. I agree as well.
Yeah. And let's talk about one of the big teams like Chelsea with Conte coming in. Who do you think needs to go, and who do you think needs to come in to really improve this Chelsea team?
I don't really think
they need centre back. They need a new centre back.
Yeah, okay, true. They need a new centre mid as well, and a new DM.
Yeah, or poor Mikel.
I don't know what happened to Matic. I don't know. Football's a funny game.
Yeah, and also like,
do you think Griezmann will come to the Premier League?
Premier League, I feel with the right offer and maybe a team like City or a team like Chelsea can convince him. But like for Griezmann, you have to ask the question like, is that Atletico Madrid at the moment? They have obviously proven that they can at least compete with the big boys, even though they had a poor start to the season. They're in the Champions League final. They're moving to a new stadium. They obviously have the finances now to pay him sufficient wages. So at this point, it's like I feel like it has to be something drastic has to happen at Atletico to convince Griezmann to leave. Maybe like they have a poor season next season, they get knocked out in the last 16, they finish fourth. But at the moment, it'll be very difficult unless the offer is massive and unless the team has the right ideas and the right projects. And that's why I feel like a manager like Pep might be able to convince him, or maybe Mourinho if he goes to United.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Griezmann holding in Manchester City shirt next season.
Yeah,
I will not be surprised.
Yeah, because like the project, like that's the thing. It's like they've become like I know like in the past they were like a smaller club with small finances, but like next season they're going to be making 100 million euros in TV money. Add that to Champions League, that would be like 150 million euros. If they get to the quarterfinals.
All Man City have to worry about is financial fair play. So with all this TV money, it's not money that we can now use to put into our transfer fund. It's just this money's coming in, so that we can justify spending the money we want to spend.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. It's like Atletico Madrid, they're becoming like a stronger team. So like it takes more to convince them than maybe just like triple your wages, because like. For someone who's making like 4 million to 5 million pounds, like tripling your wages is like really level, and do you really want to pay that? That becomes a question. Yeah. And speaking about like City and United, Bob, like you guys have Champions League qualification in your own hands. If you guys win at Upton Park and you win against Bournemouth at home, Manchester United will be fourth after a terrible season. Do you think Louis van Gaal should stay?
For those who don't know what that is, he was saying thank you, Lord.
The thing about this is that yes, it's in our own hands, but do I think we're going to go to West Ham and win tomorrow? I have zero confidence. I really, because to me, this Man U team, we are so unpredictable that sometimes we can turn up, and I'm watching the football we're playing, and I'm like, wow, we're really playing well. Hopefully we can keep this up for the rest of the season, and then the next game we'll play crap football and draw or lose. And it's the kind of thing where like, yes, now it's in our hands, but do I have confidence in the team to understand what that means and carry that on? No.
Yeah.
Because they can go tomorrow to West Ham and play the same football they played at Norwich. And West Ham have far better players than Norwich. So if we play that same football, we're going to lose. So I don't know what, and Martial apparently he's injured now and he's not playing till that's it for him for the season. So because of the Euros, that's it for him for the season. So I don't know what's without our boy, it's hard.
Yeah, and there was talk about talking about this week about Van Gaal staying until 2017, and United are asking Mourinho to be patient until 2017, which I honestly don't get because you have a guy like Jose Mourinho who can come to your team, and it's obviously proven that he can take teams to another level because the Real Madrid we see now wasn't at this level before Mourinho came in. So why are you keeping this guy waiting?
I don't know. I feel like it's very much hanging in the balance. I feel like maybe because of what happened at what I think is because of what happened at Man City, and they saw the kind of effect it can have on the team when you mention the managers leaving and the new ones coming in the middle of a season, which I think is stupid and it's anyway. I don't see what the point in that was. So I feel like maybe that kind of put off United and Ed Woodward from doing this before the summer. So I feel like I still feel like he will go. I don't even care if we win the FA Cup and win and get 4th place. I still feel like based on everything that's happened in the last 2 years and all the money he's spent, I just don't see why and the brand of football we play, why would anyone want him to stay for the last season? It's pointless. And for one more season, so he can do what? He's not going to win we're never going to win the league or something like that with Van Gaal. So we just need to get real.
I don't know you were about to jump in.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to. Van Gaal can't really do anything. He has had his opportunity. He's overspent, in my opinion. And I mean, you think of her, the players who he has bought. Really good players he's bought. Martial.
I think Daily Blind is some player.
Yeah, David Blind as well. But one thing I would say he's done is give confidence to the young guys, which I don't think any other manager short of or Arsene Wenger would have given such an opportunity to such young guys. But Lingard, Rashford, what's that guy's name? The right back, the black dude.
Is it Power?
The high hair, forgotten. He came as a centre back. Fonsu Mensah, there we go. He played well, and I think there was
I like him. I like Varela.
Varela as well. They've shown to be people in the works who are coming in. Oh yeah, speaking of youths, so my cousin, shout out to my cousin, Fikayo Tomori, who popped in 2 finals. One against City and one against PSG.
In the Champions League youth league, right?
Yes, yeah. He scores goals, guys. He scores goals.
Wow, that was good.
Do I want a fee for shouting him out right now? I do not know, but I'm just shouting him out for that. But I was so proud. I wasn't even watching Real Madrid. No, it wasn't Real Madrid. Atletico, Bayern. First, I wasn't watching that game. I was watching my cousin play, and we popped. So it was amazing.
You're waiting for that check to clear, just that one. When he signs that one professional contract.
I just told him that all I want is just a train. I just want a plane ticket.
Yeah.
And then wherever it is that the celebration is going down, I just want to be there.
And then you can be his agent.
I'm still for that. I'm still that job has already been occupied, but I can be his most fun family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sound like I'm actually full on fan. What's it called? A groupie. That's how I sound at the moment.
Yeah, but really, your cousin is doing amazing stuff, and to end it up, Louis Van Gaal better than Wenger.
No. Well,
yes or no?
Why is Bob surprisingly quiet? It's like he's too quiet.
Because I think you guys already know my answer. I honestly don't see what's the value of keeping Wenger. What is it? I just want to know. All I want to know is one pro, and what people keep saying is, oh, all these other clubs. You see what happened to United after Ferguson left. Ferguson was winning leagues when he left. So to me, the argument makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like Wenger's not winning anything.
Yeah.
So what are you losing out on?
No. I agree. I think he should be gone. Like he should have been gone like last season. After the first FA Cup victory, he should just have docked. Just stuff like that. But then, he wanted to roll the dice again and again.
Yeah.
So wasteland, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Tim said, who's better, though. Did you say who's better? Right now,
it was better right now.
Oh, who's better? I still say Wenger. Wenger's just foolish. Wenger has
decisions are
Wenger has
questionable.
the potential to do something decent at some point. Van Gaal to me has zero chance. When FA Cup final, no one gives a fuck about the FA Cup anymore. Like it's an incredibly basic, but it's an incredibly basic competition now. So it's like we're fighting for fourth. Lost 2 games this season. Like it's gotten this bad.
Yeah.
Van Gaal has no, to me, he's kind of ruined his legacy by coming to United because it just kind of shows that, he really is done.
Yeah. And I guess on that note, I'd have to close. Congrats to Leicester City for winning the title. Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid on being finalists, which is very hard for them to say. And Liverpool and Sevilla for being Europa League finalists. And when we see a winner in La Liga, we'll find out next season. Adios and vamos. And I thank Olumide and Bob for doing this with me. Ciao.